Okay, guess we're live. Not used to recording this early, but here I am. So this is week number 6 of the RPL. We are going to be taking on the San Antonio Samurotts and Coach Spungy, or formerly known as Snom Squad. Man, I'm a mess today. But I don't know why I keep blinking. I'm all over the place today. I just got done like recording the first draft of this. I got past the team builder, or I got past like the section where I break down my opponent's team, and had to stop the recording because I accidentally showed what I was bringing for week 7. And since week 7 is such a crucial game for me, yeah, it wouldn't do. But anyways, here I am. Here I am recording this again because why not? But anyways, taking on Snom, he's a very, very good battler, and he's given me quite a bit of help. He does the power rankings for this league, which I've managed to stay number 1 in with some odd miracle. I guess that's the virtue of being undefeated. But, yeah. My team, you can see my team on the left, his team on the right. My team's Latias, Tokias, Weavile, Nidoqueen, Arcanine, Bronzong, Cradily, Hitmontop, Lantern, and Dunsparce. His team is Infernape, Empoleon, Alakazam, Miltank, Quaidol, Blossom, Rotom-Fan, Quillfish, Absol, Dugtrio, Gramble. So, in terms of what I think he's gonna like, well, actually, let's go into what each of these things do. Infernape and Alakazam, Infernape, Alakazam, Dugtrio, Absol, very, very scary wall breakers. Infernape and Alakazam especially. Infernape gets coverage for damn near everything in this game, and Alakazam is just, it's very fast and it hits super hard on the special spectrum. Switching into these two were the biggest challenges of my prep. He has solid defensive pieces with Empoleon, or solid defensive rockers, and just hazard setters in general with Empoleon, Gramble, Miltank, and Quillfish. I think Gramble still gets. Wait, does Gramble get rocks? Oh, because I swore it did. Oh, I guess I was thinking of Miltank then, because I could have sworn Gramble got rocks, but oh well. But still stands to reason. Gramble's like a really bulky Pokemon that will be hard to take down, and then you just have whatever Blossom and Rotom-Fan are. But yeah, another like thing that I'm kind of concerned about heading into this game is the potential for a Curse Miltank. Wanted to swat on Psych Up Togekiss like I did versus Chara, but I could not fit it on. There's just other moves that were going to be more effective, and there was always the chance that he didn't bring Miltank. So yeah, and there's a harsh truth about Miltank that I think y'all need to understand. Miltank is not Snorlax. Miltank doesn't have like 160 base HP with 110 base SPDF. Miltank's not Snorlax. It will never be Snorlax. Though, I did kind of get a bit of a heart attack because Togekiss and like Hitmontop weren't doing enough damage to Miltank and Calx. But in terms of what I think he's going to bring, the first 3 of Infernape, Empoleon, Alakazam for sure. Could see the Gramble. Actually, it's very likely we see the Gramble because Weavile and Latios just kind of go unchecked. Aside from that, I think you can realistically bring everything except like Rotom-Fan, Blossom, and like maybe Quillfish. And yeah, but with that very brief team builder done, I just want to get this video out there. I have so many assignments to work on, and I am procrastinating recording a Pokemon video, as any self-respecting college student would do. But anyways, into my team. My team does not consist of 1 Gramble with no moves. Here's my team. So, first off, I have Wadios with Expert Belt, Psychic Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Roost. Psychic Ice Beam, Thunderbolt hits a lot of stuff neutrally or super effectively, and yeah, 240 speed with a timid nature allows me to outpace max speed Infernape. Expert Belt, since Psychic Ice Beam Thunderbolt hits so many things, and I didn't really need Life Orb because that would just disturb my longevity. Although I do have Roost, so maybe I should have went with Life Orb, but yeah. Next up's Hitmontop. I found out that Dugtrio was actually pretty scary, which I do have like Levitators Ahoy and everything like that, but Hitmontop could also serve as like a good Absol check. Or it can try to intimidate Infernape or whatever. Sorry, I had to get my voice back. Earthquake was combat, Mach Punch, Rapid Spin. EQ hits the Infernape mainly, close combat hits everything else. Rapid Spin to spin away hazards, and yeah, Mach Punch is there for priority against like Absol and stuff, so yeah. The EV spread, I think the 176 attack made it so that close combat 2-shot at like a +1 mil tank. I think 248 HP with 84 defense. I just dumped everything into HP and then into defense, so nothing fancy there. Next up's Weavile. You should be accustomed to seeing Banded Weavile here, Brick Break, Poison Jab, Icicle Crash, and Assurance. One thing that y'all should know about my opponent is he tends to switch a lot, and with Assurance, I hope to kind of abuse that. Because if I have rocks up, they get damaged, and Assurance hits for double damage if they are, well, damaged this turn. And Assurance still guarantees an OHKO on Alakazam because Alakazam's just that frail. 216 speed allows me to outpace Alakazam and Dugtrio. I should have probably snuck on Ice Shard, just to deal with like Scarf Dugtrio or something, but I figured I have enough to deal with Dugtrio, so yeah. Next up's Bronzong. Now, I originally had like Levitate Bronzong for the Dugtrio, but then one of the people who was helping me prep said, hey, why not go Heat Proof? And I was at first skeptical because, I mean, what business does this thing have with Infernape? But then I found out that fully Fizz-Def Bronzong just takes absolutely nothing from Flare Blitz from an Infernape, and Bronzong can beat Infernape in a 1v1. So I was just like, yeah, sure, he's gonna think it's Levitate, and yeah, that could pay off for me. So this is supposed to be like a blanket check for like Infernape and Gramble especially. It can take on some hits from Alakazam and OHKO back with Heavy Slam. And yeah, Bronzong's just a really nice piece. And yeah, speaking of really nice pieces, we have Togekiss, Leftovers, Serene Grace, Air Slash, Roost, Aura Sphere, Thunderwave, Max HP, Max Pedef. This is my dedicated Alakazam sponge. I think if he specs, it raises a bit of a problem, but I'm anticipating like Sash Nasty Plot or something, which I can take on a hit from. So I can take on a hit from and like Thunderwave back and try to flinch hacks it to death. So yeah. And then my final Pokemon was Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen just looks so good offensively here. Only really needing Earth Power, Sludge Wave, and Ice Beam. Substitutes there in case like I want to try to catch a read. Like if he has like Empoleon or like Blossom or Gramble out. I can just sub, catch a read, get a free Earth Power, Sludge Wave off on whatever comes in. Turn 48 Timid, this will allow me to outpace, I think, let me look. Yeah, it allowed me to outpace max speed Absol. So, yeah. But anyways, that's my team, that's their team. I'll see you in the battle, I guess. Okay, here we are in the battle. This is a post-com because, well, me and him battled Tuesday and I'm recording this Friday. I didn't really have a chance to record this any other time than right now, so yeah. And as for why we battled earlier, I have so many assignments due, but I mean, what other self-respecting college student wouldn't procrastinate on assignments to record Pokemon videos? So here I am. So I wasn't really surprised by what he brought. I guess maybe the things that surprised me were Absol and Quaidol, specifically Quaidol over Dugtrio. But Quaidol would provide like good teleport support. Obviously, you have the terrifying offense of Infernape and Alakazam, and then you have Absol added in. So I can't really remember what my lead was. I think I led Bronzong. It was either Bronzong or lead like Weavile or something. I don't know. Actually, yeah, I forgot what my lead was. Well, we'll see what I led with. So he leads Alakazam. I'll lead Bronzong. So right here, he switches into Absol, but here's what I was thinking. I was thinking, yeah, he's gonna Shadow Ball, so I'm just gonna go into Togekiss. And this play worked out for me. He probably could have went Empoleon, but and here he does go Empoleon as that Air Slash. I probably should have T-Wave there. Though, yeah, I should have T-Wave there. Because crippling this Empoleon would have been just great. So anyway, I go into Nidoqueen as he gets his rocks up, which kind of sucks, but yeah. So I sub, I expected him to switch, and then I sub again expecting him to switch. And he just keeps scalding, so eventually I cut my losses and go for Earth Power, and he scalds again, and my Nidoqueen is dead. I thought Earth Power would OHKO, but it doesn't. So I go into Hitmonchan, spin here, I think, expecting the switch. He protects, gets some leftover recovery, and now he does switch. He goes into the Quaidol. So I spin, I'm expecting the teleport, but I can't really do much, so I just go into Weavile. And he does indeed teleport, goes into Granbull, and this is, get used to seeing this. Get used to seeing Weavile switching it on Quaidol, Granbull coming in, Bronzong coming in response, and then like Infernape or Absol coming in. So he goes into Absol perfectly reading me, and I go into Hitmonchan as they knock off. So here they switch, which was interesting to me because they could have had Play Rough coverage, but I guess they didn't have Play Rough coverage. So they go into Granbull, get the Intimidate off on me, and I close combat doing absolutely nothing. I've been playing fairly straightforward in this game, so I go into Bronzong as he goes into Infernape. Now here, I was just like, yeah, I'm staying in, I can take on Infernape, he's not going to be expecting me to be heat-proof, though, yeah. Though, if I do reveal heat-proof, then Granbull can get like free Earthquakes off or something. So U turns out, goes into Quaidol as I go for EQ. So, I protect, try to scout what he's going to do to me. He Shadow Balls. And then I go into Weavile as he goes for the Reflect. Now here I Brick Break because I don't want those screens, and he brings in Infernape, and I reset the battle. But he brings in Infernape. Now, where he brought in Infernape, I was like, I can't risk him being Scarf, so yeah, I go into Togekiss as he just U-turns out, which is fair. Though, with the team I have, I'm kind of surprised he didn't just like Flare Blitz immediately, which he did later, but yeah. So in comes the Gramble, and so I'm just saying, yeah, I'm gonna flinch this thing to death. Eventually, like, I don't get a flinch and he gets the T-Wave off on me, which proved to be pretty massive as I get parried there, but it didn't really matter. I get the T-Wave off on this thing. Luckily, the T-Wave turns didn't really matter too much. And so Empoleon gets forced out. Claydol comes in, and I'm perfectly content to just keep clicking Air Slash. So he brings out Absol, and I'll switch out into Hitmontop fearing like Iron Tail, or Rock Slide, I guess, and goes out into Claydol. I spin here, finally get the rocks off the field. Go back into Weavile, he teleports, goes into Infernape. I go into Togekiss as he goes for the Flare Blitz now. So, yeah. So Togekiss goes down to Infernape. Infernape doesn't quite die from recoil, but I'll just finish it off with Mach Punch. Or not, as he switches into Gramble. And yeah, this is just like a massive swap fest of a game. T-Wave misses, which is fortunate for me, but Bronzong's so slow that it wouldn't even mattered. So he goes out into Claydol as I get my rocks up. I was expecting the switch, go into Weavile, as he teleports, Gramble comes in. Now here I'm just thinking like, should I like Poison Jab or something, but I just opt to go into Bronzong. And yeah, this is pretty much what the battle's become. Chipping down his threats slowly but surely, but it's still going to be an uphill battle. So, yeah. Just let all this play out. This is, like, very, very repetitive at this point. But towards the end, it gets worth it because something has to give, and he has to sack Infernape. Now, Absol comes in, I go into Hitmontop, fearing a dark move, which is exactly what happened. And yeah, he has to go into Claydol, get off a Mach Punch. So Claydol's slowly but surely getting chipped. He goes for a Reflect here, I go for the Brick Break. And yeah, he goes into Zam, I go into Latios. My rationale here was like, Latios does the least for me because Hitmontop and like Bronzong can just take care of the rest from here. So Latios did the least for me. Now, right here on this turn, I'm thinking like, well, what if he's choiced? So I go into Bronzong. Because like I was torn between, well actually I wasn't like, what if he's choiced? I was like, what if he's Sash? And if he Dazzling Gleams again, then I know he's choiced. So I go into Bronzong to hopefully like break the Sash. Potentially, or just force this thing out. He goes for the D-Gleam again. And then he switches out immediately, so I'm just like, oh yeah, he's choiced. Go for the Heavy Slam. Doesn't do anything to Empoleon. But an Earthquake and killed the Empoleon. So that works out. In comes the Absol. Absol's getting really, really weak at this point. As Hitmontop will come in, knock off, doesn't do anything. He has to go into Claydol and sack it. Get the Mach Punch, so we're finally retaking this lead. A Mach Punch just to break the Sash. If he was like Sash Plot, he Shadow Balls, I go into Weavile. Now here I could have just clicked Icicle Crash, but I didn't. I clicked Assurance for the style points. But goes into Gramble. Gramble's getting pretty weak. So here, swapping a Bronzong as it would. He doubles into Absol, which is a good play on his part, but it keeps taking rocks damage. So I go into Latios, sack off Latios, and now it's just a matter of can Weavile hit 3 moves. So he Sucker Punches, and Weavile misses the Icicle Crash. Sucker Punches again, doesn't kill Weavile, and yeah, this is the game pretty much. Weavile quits Icicle Crash on this, Granbull dies, and Alakazam comes in, drops to Icicle Crash, and we win the game 2-0. The only thing that really mattered was me killing the Absol. I probably could have taken on Granbull and the Alakazam, but taking down the Granbull would have been great anyways, so yeah. But anyways, whew, I really wish I would have recorded this live, because I was pretty hyped up whenever I won this. Just the fact, just how bad I was down. I mean, it's like 6-4 or something, and then I just retake it 4-3 and just win it 2-0. That's just this season. Like, this season's been magical for me. I've never gone 6-0 in a draft week, and now I finally have. And yeah, we're finally out of the probably one of the toughest stretches I'm gonna face in any draft week, because I've played all four of my friends who are all really good at the game, and they all help me prep. So yeah, in this stretch I've gotten some prep help from other friends, so yeah, shout out to them. They're probably not watching, but because, well, I don't plug these videos in those servers, but yeah, shoutouts to them. They're the reason I'm 6-0 in the first place and not 2-4. But final week, we're going to be taking on M-Man and the Detroit Duwats. He has an interesting team. It has my favorite Pokemon being Mew, so that's going to be fun. But yeah, we'll have to win next week if we want to clinch the number 1 seed and get a round 1 bye in playoffs. So yeah, the only 2 teams that are competing with me for this number 1 seed were Snom and Josh. I beat Snom today, or Tuesday, I guess, so he cannot get the number 1 seed from me. It's going to be down to me and Josh. And yeah, I just find it crazy that 3 teams are in the hunt for the number 1 seed, like in a two or less loss, like top 3. That's just crazy to me, because I'm 6-0, Josh is 4-1. He's still yet to do this game. Snom's 4-2. This has been a crazy race for the number 1 seed. So yeah, but next week we'll be taking on A-Man. If we win, we're obviously still in playoffs. I mean, we clinched it last week, so that's fun. But if we win, we clinch the number 1 seed. If Josh loses one more game, we clinch the number 1 seed. But I don't see him losing. But anyways, I got some assignments to do, and I gotta find something for lunch. So we'll see you in the next one.